I don't know any hard questions.
Okay.
All right, so I'm here with Carrie, and you won the Rick Austin Dispatcher of the Year.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
I was expecting a little more, Sherry. A little a woo, an extra woo or something. How did it feel to win?
It's an honor, really, because it's the fleet that really nominated me. And
did you know about it?
I got the notification.
Okay.
So yeah, it was a shock because we are such a small fleet,
Yeah.
right? So no, it's an honor.
I was interviewing the drivers, and they all got told the same way. They said, "We got something to tell you." And in trucking, that means you're either getting fired or you're about to get a promotion. You don't know which way it's going.
I just got an email, and then my safety manager says, "Oh my God, congratulations." He goes, "I won't be there. I'm on vacation." He goes, "I really didn't think you'd win."
I talk to Charlie once in a while. I'm sure he'll be proud that you're winning. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So how long have you been dispatching?
Well, of this magnitude, just the 7 years I've been here. I used to work at a recycling plant.
Okay.
And I dispatched 2 trucks.
2 trucks.
2 trucks.
Did they make it back at the end of the day? That was a successful dispatch day, wasn't it?
Every day. I had to get the freight for it, and it was all part of warehousing, and I dispatched other trucks like outside carriers, but I mostly just dispatched my 2 trucks.
So now you're with the John Deere fleet. So how many trucks are there in the John Deere fleet? It's got to be. We won't even get into CPC lot just because I know then we get into tons of other fleets, but.
Just Grimsby, I think there's 50 trucks now.
Yeah.
50? Yeah. I think there's 50 trucks now.
And they go everywhere from...
Well, we mostly go from Connecticut to Minnesota.
Right. So now, if I understand the way your operation works, I think Charlie said in the past that it goes out with deliveries for all the John Deere dealerships.
That's right.
So what type of freight would you be finding them tractor parts back, or what are you finding them from a John Deere standpoint?
From a John Deere standpoint, it's mostly delivering John Deere parts.
Okay.
For dealers, so farmers in a field, they're broken down, they need to get going. It's high priority freight for John Deere, and even machine, like they have machine down, so even like. It could be conveyors, parts that they're waiting for. So, it's all high priority freight. So, our drivers are under a lot of pressure to get there. Yes,
I've interviewed a few of them on the show over the years, so I know that is. What? Give me an idea of what your day is like as a dispatcher. Let's tell me about that, because it's different for everybody. And when I get new drivers go in, I always tell them if you get a tour of a company and they say, hey, here's the dispatch department. Don't just look in the door and go, oh, yeah, it's dispatch. You have to. I've dispatched small from up until like 15 trucks, and I was just a fill-in dispatcher. I haven't done it full time, but enough to know that I call it executive babysitting. I don't know what you would call it, but I call it. There's always a quarter of the people that will get the load there. You won't hear from them. They will just deliver, and boom. Then there's a bunch in the middle that may be okay, and then there's some that never seem to have, my mud flaps black. Yes, they're all black. Just deal with it, So what's a day like for you as a dispatcher?
I mean, we start pretty early in the morning, and we're not really, I wouldn't say I'm a conventional dispatcher. Most of the drivers know what they're doing on a day-to-day. We do a weekly schedule. They know what they're doing ahead of time. It's when... mud hits the fan. Yeah. You're filling in drivers. We also have to coordinate a lot with a lot of like our receivers and stuff like that. So, and our shippers. So we're coordinating mostly with them, paperwork, customs documentation, traffic, weather, just staying on top of it, and maybe construction, traffic jams, letting the drivers know if we see it. But again, our drivers are pretty self-sufficient. Yep. We're really just problem solving, honestly.
Supporting
really,
them,
it's just a support system. I wouldn't say technically a dispatching role. I I mean, we dispatch more electronically now
Yeah.
than we do anything else. But no, it's not a hard dispatching position. It's like you said, it's more for moral support. So like our phones are on 24 hours a day.
So I've worked for you. You're working for a better fleet than maybe the ones I dispatch for. That might be why. Because I think it depends on the fleet. If you've got good drivers already,
Right.
they already, and I know that there's a few of your drivers that have been Hall of Fame drivers that I've interviewed.
We have quite a few.
So,
And some
they're not ones you have to tell how to get to Iowa or anything. It's just when they have a question, they want to make sure they're thinking in the right direction that they'll
or they
use.
see a problem and they bring it to our attention.
Yeah.
We do a lot of the fleet like the fleet maintenance organization too, so that takes up a lot of time. Mostly it's just customs documentation and making sure that the drivers have all the proper information and they're going in the right direction.
Yeah. So what I don't even, I should know this, but I don't think I know it every year. What's the criteria for being dispatcher of the year? What did they grade you on, or did they even tell you that? I don't know if
I
they
don't
told
even
you
know
that.
if they really told me, but I would imagine it's just it was really just about the involvement with the drivers and trying to make new processes to modernize truck driving for the drivers. I mean, obviously ELDs. John Deere's been on ELDs for a long time, but they actually change.
Yeah.
And we just recently integrated a new system, so it's really just about communicating with drivers and helping them evolve with technology.
Yeah.
And they need to know that there's someone there for them, and she does that.
Yeah. Well, and
I try to.
I think that leads me to my next question. I think understanding it's a team effort. I know a lot of drivers, and I used to be a driver too. So a lot of drivers, there was a reason there was a hole in the in the glass. That's so our fist could only go in so far, because some dispatchers take it to, I'm your boss, even though they're not.
No.
So I think for it to be successful, it's a team effort, and if the drivers understand that, then they're just communicating and you're problem solving together, which
That's right.
makes it successful.
Absolutely.
I think
I mean, it's not just dispatch. It's like I don't just deal with the drivers. It's the team in the office too.
Yeah.
We all have to be on the same page. We all have to have open communication. We may not always like each other, but we always have to work together. No, it's true. I mean, I'm not always happy.
What?
No, exactly. I have bad days too, and
we all do.
and it's just realizing that everybody has bad days, and how are you going to deal with the day to day if it's not a good one?
Yeah.
And including everybody in that. Like I'll say I have Warren Cherry. I'm not in a good mood today.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Is that when you bring a bottle of wine in for lunch? And go, we're going to be better by tonight.
Bailey's in the tourist manager. Right?
Yeah. Do you work there too, Sherry?
Yes.
Yeah. And are you dispatch as well, or you do something different?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She's actually, like, as far as the electronic part, Sherry's probably the most integral person here.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, almost everything she's handling paperwork wise. And
So you're next for the award. Are you next year?
I hope so.
So someone's got to nominate her. That's she's doing all that work.
Exactly.
What do you think, Sherry? What do you think of Carrie winning the award today?
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I see how hard she works day in and day out, and she totally deserves this. Like,
Thank you.
totally.
I think it's
the best
so.
way to express how hard she works.
This is my favorite part of the conference with the drivers and the Rick Austin Award, because being a driver myself, it's nice to finally be recognized. And I'm not the perfect driver that a lot of your drivers are, but no matter how long you've done this job, it's a hard job to do, and to make it 30, 40 years and have a stellar record, and it's nice to finally be recognized for that, because
And they deserve to be.
yeah, because I've gotten safety awards over the years, but some companies you work for are not registered or whatever, so there's no safety award. They got their own safety bonus, so things are different. So you don't get that track of being, as if you were at a company for many years.
Yeah, our whole team. It's not just the drivers, and I will say that this is the first place I've ever worked where it's not dispatch against the drivers.
Yeah.
Like, we really do work for.
The other two were against you.
Well, I I just, usually it's a them versus us kind of deal. And
I agree.
I really don't feel that where I
Good.
am. And I mean, especially after losing Rick Austin, that fleet, they needed something. And I'm glad that Matt chose me. And it was probably because of my experiences with drivers that he selected me to be able to fit in like that. And
Did you know Rick? Did you know Rick?
No, I never got the chance
I
to
know
meet
of him through the award. I didn't
Right.
know him personally, so
no,
I think
it didn't. No, I never. He had already passed away when
Okay.
they hired me.
Yeah.
So, but I hear about him all.
Well,
the
he came
time.
from CPC Fleet, right?
Exactly.
So
and it feels good that it's come full circle, full circle
yeah.
for the fleet.
So what's next? Dispatcher of the world.
No,
Ta-da!
no, I like to just focus on what I do. I mean, eventually, I'm gonna slow down and hand it down to other people.
Other people, Sherry's getting the wink, wink, wink.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'm hoping that the people that follow behind me will be much like me.
Yes.
And
And they do,
value,
look up to her.
exactly, and value the drivers and what they do. They spend a lot of time by themselves, and sometimes a phone call, while it may seem annoying at the time, they're calling because they need to,
Yeah.
and they need someone to listen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes that's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just listening.
And that's
Yeah.
where you have to find the balance.
Yeah.
Right? You're not afraid to tell them if they've done something wrong, but
Right.
then you also have to have some compassion for them.
Right.
Yeah. Some customers can be crazy, all of that
Well,
stuff,
we're lucky
right?
that
So-
John Deere is our customer, so
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that difficult. So, I mean, if I'm going to be honest, my job's not that hard. Like the actual
yeah.
work part of it, it's I guess the emotional part of it that's
Yes.
draining.
Yeah, always. Okay, so what would you tell a new dispatcher? Somebody's coming into this industry, they're looking at dispatch. What kind of qualifications does someone have to have? You mentioned compassion. I always felt it's a very busy area. Like you have to be kind of a multitasker. You have to be, answering the phone back when people called you, and now it's computers and all of that stuff.
You have to be a multitasker, but at the same time, you have to be able to delegate to other people who are available. Yeah. And I mean, I hope I try to find the people on my team. I find what they're good at, and I kind of delegate that to them. Yeah. You have to learn to let go of the reins, because the job really can be all consuming.
Yes.
You have to be willing to put it in the time. It's a 365 day a year job. It's 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
You have to, when that phone rings, you got to be prepared to answer it.
Right. Well, that's great. Well, congratulations on your win.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for taking the time. I know you
Thanks for
kind of
chasing
took
Joe,
all
right?
afternoon to do this, but
Yeah,
we're
that's
good.
okay.
That's good.
Okay.
And Sherry, good luck. I think you're next. Next. We're grooming you, Matt.
Yeah.
Matt's grooming everybody to go through this
Yeah.
system here. He's
Yeah.
got this going down. There's been a lot of John Deere winners I've noticed.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well,
so-
I mean, I think it's well deserved.
Yeah.
Not because I work there, but I
No.
left.
And there has been other dispatch companies. I'm just saying.
Absolutely,
Yes.
but it is a good company to
Yeah.
work for.
Yeah.
CPC, they do the right thing.
That's right. So go get a job.
Yeah,
I'm your
exactly.
I'm your recruiting attendant.
Yeah, exactly. We're always looking for good drivers.
Good. And maybe dispatchers down the road.
Yeah, maybe.
Thank you very much, ladies. That's
Thanks.
awesome.
Thanks.
Congratulations again.
Thank you very much.